morning everyone, we are from Team 8 and before we start our presentation, let us ask you some questions related to our lesson today. The first question, let's imagine that you are a manager of a company and you have an employee who has potential for your company's development. If your company can employ all of his or her own potential, it will bring a big benefit for your company. But he or she just go to work for fun, no matter you pay more or less, simply because he or she can inherit assets from his or her company and live comfortable after that. So the question, how should you can do to motivate him or her to contribute to your company as much as possible? Or the same case, but he or she is shy and it's so difficult for him or her to acquire ideas from others or show his or her talent. So, what should you do to make him or her feel more self-confident and open to show what he or she can do? Will you keep your answer in your mind? Actually, it does not have any standard for correct answer. It only have which is more suitable for this situation. It's based on situation, condition, environment, and we will not give you the answer later. You can keep this question and your answer and consider whether your situation is suitable. And now in my presentation with title Motivation from Concept to Applications, and we hope our presentation today will help you get the best solution for those questions. And we have divided my presentation into 6 parts. First of all, we will introduce to you about the job characteristic model. Part 2 will explain how can jobs be designed. Part 3 will be alternative work arrangement. The first part we will discuss about employee involvement. The next part will give you an overview about using reward to motivate. And final is about employee recognition programs. So let's start with the first one, the job characteristic model.
In many chapters before, we are instructed by Dr. Mai Ngọc Khương about motivation theory, so that in this chapter 8, motivation from concept to application will be presented by Group A, that we will discuss about how to apply motivation theory into the practical. The first one, we are talking about the job characteristic model, or called GCM. That job characteristic model includes 5 core job dimensions. First one is skill variety, that requires many different activities so the worker can use number of different skills and talent in their job. For example, the corporate executive is a skill variety employee who use quantity skills such as financial control to evaluate the budget in order to deter the deficit budget, and interpersonal skill to solve conflict between his or her staff. And last but not least, will be high-level analytic skill to achieve goal or tactical goal. Okay, the second one will task identity. That task identity needs completion of a whole and identifiable piece of work. For example, when researchers want to prove what they think is true, they will develop a theory, maybe many theories, and then gather data. And so the next one will build model, and the last thing is they eliminate the wrong theory, so the last theory will be true. Okay, thirdly, we are talking about task significance. Does that right a job has profoundly impact on life or work of other people? For example, in the in the outbreak of the pandemic COVID-19, the role the doctor and nurse play an important role in curing and preventing the spread of the virus. Moreover, we are talking about autonomy that allow worker freedom, independent discretion in scheduling work and determining the procedure in carrying it out. For example, a professor has high autonomy who can choose the way they approach the work or ca- the, they can control the total hour they work in the university or the center. Okay, and the last one will be feedback that generate direct and clear information about staff performance in work activities. For example, a worker in factory is usually receive feedback. So what is that feedback? This can be the time attended, the time they work, the total hour they work via the time attendant machine, or their performance but will be feedback by quality control department. We are keep continue with the job characteristic model. In this time, we are divide job characteristic model into three groups about in psychological stage. First one is meaningful group that includes skill variety, task identity, and task significance. And the second one is responsible that include autonomy, and the last one will knowledge. And in this time, knowledge compose task significant. But even in any group that both of them meaningful responsibility and knowledge just only contribute to the work. So what they contribute to the work? That they intrinsic motivation and quality work performance. It's also poor satisfaction, and the last one is reduced resistance and withdrawal for the work. Beside the job characteristic model, we are having motivating potential score or called MBS because researchers say that the single predictive index applied in measuring age on motivating potential just modestly high on at least one of the three factors that leads to experience meaningful and high on both autonomy and feedback via the following formula. I attacked this on my group slide. So as you see, so what is high MPS bring about? That high MPS can increase motivation, performance, satisfaction, and is also decrease absence and turnover from the staff. However, in some culture which it tests, the job characteristic model which is received inconsistent outcome since high bias is profoundly governed by job dimensions. More studies in Niger say that the correlation were different than the database collected in many countries. So I can conclude that in practical MPS is unusually occur because this is inconsistent with the data and it is haven't any practical value. As I mentioned in the last part about job characteristic model and motivating potential score. In this part, we are investigate about the job redesign. Job redesign is another definition about how to apply the motivation theory into the practical. We are having two ways to redesign the job. The first one is job rotation, that the shifting of an employee from one task to another with similar skill requirement. I will give you an example for the job rotation. For example, if you are a marketer in a company, so now you are working for a department in writing content. Now don't want to writing content. You want to create you want to use your imagination in creating uh advertising. So you will ask for your boss to rotate you to another group, and this group is they they have their main value is create uh advertising and advertising for the customer. This is an example for job rotation. And the second one we are talking how can job be redesigned is relational job design. That is the expansion of a job by increasing the degree to which the worker control the planning, execution, and evaluation of the work. That means in the outbreak of an epidemic like COVID-19, the support from society such as currency, wages, food, and so on, which is so better performance in current process of the doctor. In gaining a deeper understanding about job rotation, now will going to analyze the strength and the drawback of the job rotation. The first one we are starting with strength of job rotation. Okay, I cited from the book that we have four good points of job rotation. First one is reduce boredom. Secondly, increase understanding of work contribution. Thirdly, increasing skill and commitment. And the last one is help new manager in understand whole business. We are keep continue with the marketer example. Okay, so as I mentioned that when you are rotated from content writing content to creating PR and advertising. Now you are have a perspective from another department. So now you can increase your understand about how you are contribute to your work or moreover that is your organization. So now you are freedom in using your imagination and create advertising. This is no limitation or freedom to work with your client. Now you have more skill when you are talking with your client, using your imagination, and applying your knowledge into your work. And in this time, you are increasing your skill. So when you're increasing your skill and you have more chance in becoming a manager, this is can push you to commitment with the organization. And this is also reduce your boredom from your work when you are choosing that a 9 to 5 day job is just repeat again every day. And now you are work another task. This is can prevent you from boredom in just doing one task. And in another case, what if you are a manager? Now When you are a manager, it's also the same with the three good point, but you have more things that now you are leader of writing content group. Now you rotate to a leader position of creating PR and advertising, so that you can understand what you are doing for the performance of the company. Okay, now you are have a deep understanding about how your organization activity. This is I call it that help new manager in understanding about whole the business. Okay, now we are moving to rollback of job rotation. So because of you are a new staff, so you may be inadequate skill to solve the problem in the job. Now, it will be increasing the cost in training because of your lack of skill, and your company have to allow you to maybe attend in um interpersonal skill while you are unable to deal with your customer, so that this can create a training cost for you. So what if your company don't allow you to attend this course? Your manager will be responsibility for training you and monitoring you a new skill, such as interpersonal skill or using AI or anything needed to meet your deadline in a new position. So now, spending more time on training and monitoring new staff is also a drawback of job rotation, and this is put a pressure on your new manager. So, and the last one, you are don't have adequate skill, so now you are wasting time in just writing a poster or dealing with customer. Maybe you don't good at this, and this is called reduced productivity. And you maybe don't get on well with your new college. This is also really a disruption for you in the new department. We are now moving to the last part, and this is the second way of how to redesign a job. So this is this technique called relational job design. Relational job design is focused on pro-social motivation in order to increase motivation and commitment from staff to the organization. However, this is seem a little bit similar to CSR, which is stand by corporate social responsibility. So this is has some a little bit confused, right? Now I will make clear about this. Even though CSR require many skill of employee in the work, which also be voluntary. Relational jobs design is not mean that. It's not it is unforced you to do this. It's just about when you are want to do something better. For when you think about you can bring for another people work and life better. So this is increase your motivation in doing better performance. CSR in some case may not integrate with the personal value, but relational job design is maybe integral with the personal value. So it is vital that the relationship of relational job design and CSR be absorbed and incited another one. Because as I mentioned, CSR is a special case of relational job design. It's not 5%.
Hi everyone, my name is V. I will continue our representation. To continue, I want to go through the alternative work arrangement. As you may know, job arrangement are contribute the important part of working process. It gives employee more flexibility over their job and therefore can increase the level of motivation. There are several innovative job strategies that have been effective in helping to improve the moral of staff, which is flexi-time, job sharing, telecommuting, social contact, and physical contacts. First of all, I want to go through the definitions of flexi-time. It is short for flexible working hours and allow employees to select which hour they work within the given period of time. That means flexi-time is a work arrangement that allow employees to choose their working days starting and finishing time. As employees seek a better balance work and home, flexi-time offers an opportunity to better manage their time. However, flexi-time may mandate that employees be in the office during certain hours to accommodate customers and allow the meeting and collaborations. So the key point of flexi-time or flexi-time employees are typically required to work during their employer core hours. Flexi-time work arrangements are popular because they help employees to achieve a positive work-life balance. And also, similar to flexi-time is flexi-place, allow employees to choose where they accomplish their work, such as from home or coffee shop. Flexi-time benefits workers have considered job sharing. Job sharing, where two workers split a job and each work part-time that allow two or more individuals to split a traditional 40-hour per week job. It allows employees a flexible work option to share a single job. Job sharing is a controversial alternative to telecommuting, flexible work hour, compressed work week, and other arrangements used by businesses to offer their employees more flexibility in terms of work schedule without increased costs and while maintaining productivity. Job sharing is an option for employees who wish to work somewhat shorter hours. In many cases, a job sharing position dual requires that the individual involved are willing to be contacted during work week even on the day they do not work. So, the questions may be answered that the coordination between two or more individuals sharing a position is maximized. For example, one person may work in a certain positions Monday and Tuesday, and a second person may occupy the same position Tuesday and Friday. The two people may both work on Wednesday and use that time to update each other on the current status of the various projects on which they collaborations. A variety of the other arrangements are possible as well. Now we move to telecommuting. Telecommuting is another common job method that has been used When staff working at least 2 days a week from home, telecommuting are also known as a working from home. It allows employees to have a work arrangement working outside the office. Often, this means working from home or at a location close from home, such as coffee shop, libraries, or co-working space. Telecommuting has several benefits, which is give employees greater freedom over their working hours and work locations. It gives employees more flexibility to balance work and personal obligations, such as school, picking up from school, or caring for ill family members. And it also reduces commuting time, particularly for employees who would otherwise have to travel for an hour to get an office. Allow workers to telecommute often make them more productive, which benefits for company. Telecommuters are also likely to happier in their job and therefore more likely to stay with the company. Many people find telecommuting challenging because the employees have to be extremely self-motivated or else may get distracted easily. Also, work from home a bit isolated because you are not around your coworker, so the routine meeting that you video chat can help elevate this loneliness. Social context and physical context. They are not only social but also physical in background for research, which not only allow researchers to enhance job performance by creating a sense of independence, mutual support, and contact with people outside the workplace, but also may have an effect on work satisfaction by providing a comfortable workplace. In social context, some social characteristics that improve job performance include independence, social support, interactions with other people outside the work, and in physical context, the work context will also affect employee satisfaction, such as work that is too hot, loud, and dangerous is less satisfying, but work that controls, relative quiet, and safe will be more satisfying. Now we move to the next slide. Employee involvement is described as a participatory process that uses feedback of employees to enhance their contribute to the overall success of the organization or company. Employee involvement is regarded as a powerful behavioral tool for managing the industry relation system. This is being viewed differently by different people. It is a joint consultation superior to decision making. The management expert look upon it as a tool for improving the overall performance of an enterprise. For them, it means that employees are given opportunity to take part in a decision making that concerns them most. It is also a system of communications and consultations, either formal or informal, by which employees are kept informed about the affairs of undertaking, that they express their opinion to contribute the management decisions. The object of the employee involvement are to make worker role important. This is basic object of employee involvement is to make employer role important in an organization. For successfully attaining the objective and goal of the organizations, it is essential to make employees involved in their achievement of goal, because without them, there is no possible to achieve a goal. The second object is to increase productivity. When employees are involved in decision making with the management, this motivates them and their moral increase lead to increase in their efficiency, which bring increase in the level of productivity. And also, the strength of the employee management cooperation. Coordination and cooperation between the employee and management improve the relationship between them. Employees don't feel neglected, and when they participate in decision making, they feel recognized. There are two main examples of employee involvement programs: participatory management and representative participation. About participatory management and group engagement or example of service that assists with employee involvement. Participatory management is when manager includes staff, worker in decision-making process. When an organization provides its employees the appropriate authorities to work on their project and tasks, they feel more value to use their own logic and wisdom to achieving their work goal. This kind of leadership planning offers empower talent employees and enable the top management to focus on visual planning and at the same time allow lower level employees to work on daily routine tasks. Engaging people also help companies to retain good people. The benefits of participatory management. First one is role in productivity. Participatory management help employees achieve something bigger when they are offered to participate in decision-making process of the companies. They feel more confident and this helps them to be more productive to the organization. The second one is employee satisfaction, where employees give their suggestions, advice, and plans about something, and when it is scaled in the companies, it gives a higher sense of fulfillment and thus raise a greater level of employee satisfaction. Learning, where employees work on their own by using their knowledge and thus it forces them to self-learning. They try to learn more about their field of work and try to grasp as many information as possible through different resources provided by company. Participate management help the organizations raise a work environment that not only help employees feel better and be more motivated, but also give them a sense of ownership over their work. Representative participation aims to redistribute control by placing labor on a more equitable footing with the interests of manager and shareholder. They do so by requiring staff to be served by a small group of employees who take back-in decisions. Participative administrations include offering data to representatives and include them in basic leadership. Representatives are urged to run their very own area of expertise and sell on choice with respect to arrangements. It has been advised as a speedy solution for both spirit and low profitability. Thank you for listening. That is the end of my part. My friends will continue our representations.
In what to pay, we use a structure called a pay structure to calculate the pay. It is included internal equity and external equity. Internal, it means the cooperation about productivity, performance between individuals in a same company, and external is about individuals in different companies. However, pay also is paid on the labor market. Some organizations they have ability to pay for their employees with the pay above the labor market, but some others they just can below. They cannot afford, so they go to some results. For organizations who pay above the labor market, the cost of their services or products are higher because they need to get enough funds for pay. It means their turnover is down, but in exchange they get higher employees job satisfaction and higher customer quality. For others who pay below, of course that their cost of services and products are less and the turnover is up, but they trade off the quality of employees and customers. So we can see each organization face trade-offs when they make decisions about employees' pay. It is a strategic decision. Now, let's turn to the second part of my presentation, how to pay. When we work for a company and we realize that there's nothing effective on our pay whether we work with all our enthusiasm or not. So, we check a question. Why do I have to get more effort in this job while I'm paid the same after that? So, to solve this question, a pay plan is designed. It is called variable pay program, also called pay for performance. Its definition is a pay plan in which workers are paid for their performance. Also, there are many kinds of this plan. We will discuss more detail later. Although this plan sounds balanced, not all employees can see a strong connection between their pay and their performance. So, individual pay secrecy is required to strengthen the success of variable pay plans. But contrary to expectations, it delivers disadvantages for just performance because employees' pay is subjective, especially if they don't know how much their coworkers are paid and whether there are any bias in pay. They cannot be sure about it. However, although individual pay may not be public, if other pay is made public and employees find that variable pay is connected strongly with their performance, the motivation effect of variable pay can be kept hold on. When pay connects strongly with performance, employee earnings will reflect their contribution to organization. Gradually, high performers are paid reserved with their contribution while low performers pay stagnate. Now, let's examine the different types of variable pay programs in more detail. First of all, we start with piece rate pay. It is a pay plan in which workers are paid for each unit of output completed. I will give you an example. You sell orange. 1 kilo of orange you sell, you will earn $2 in earnings. So, 40 kilos of orange sold, you will earn $80 in earnings. The more orange you sell and the more you earn. So, this plan provides higher productivity, weight, and attracting high performers and managers. For low performers, they almost don't adjust in this plan, clearly because they won't get paid much. Moreover, the often concept of both individual and team-piece rate worker is financial risk. A German experiment found that 68% of risk-averse individuals prefer an individual rate system, while lower performers prefer the team-piece rate. So why? The reason is risk-averse individual high performers with higher performance afraid that the remaining members of team will reduce the performance quality in team setting. But on the other hand, piece rate pay cannot be applied in all the organizations. For instance, hospital. We cannot pay for doctors or nurses based on the number of patients they see or they treat. It can cause to doctors and nurses will ignore and don't care about terminal diseases, patient and life-threatening injuries because they cannot cure those patients. They are not paid anything for them, so they don't have motivation. Thus, although piece rate pay provides motivation for some jobs, we should consider when applied in our organization. Its effect also depends on the feature of organization. I'd like to move on to another type, merit-based pay plan. It is a pay plan in which workers are paid for their performance rating. They will have some rating surveys which is used to evaluate each employee. It's similar to surveys rating lecturers we make in each the end of our semester. And if this plan is designed in correct structure, it will let people perceive the strong connection between their performance and their rewards. Moreover, although you think the current performance is the key factor in merit-paid decisions, the future performance also plays an important role in this plan. It means A manager needs to have a further view to predict what their employees can perform in the future. But what will it be if a manager doesn't have enough ability to recognize the capacity of their employees? One reason can be called that they overestimate about what their employee can do, so they make over-optimistic pay decisions. On the other hand, merit pay plan has some limitations, and the first one I want to mention is discrimination. As we have known, this plan is paid for employees based on rating survey. So, who makes the survey? Manager or the employees. So, can you recognize the problem in there? Yes, the rating survey is often subject. Research indicates that African American employees receive lower performance ratings than white employees, and women's ratings are higher than men's. Although they work in the same condition with the same type of workplace, apply the same effort. So I will give you an example for more understand. In your company, your coworker hates you and you perform very well in work, but they will think, oh, just lucky, not your capacity. Then he or she will evaluate you with medium or low performance. It is biased, right? And another limitation is that the pay rise pool of available funds fluctuate on economic or other conditions that have a little to do with individual performance. For instance, a college at a top university who performed very well in teaching and research was given a pay rise of $300. Why? Because the pay rise pool was very small. However, the amount of is more of cost of living increase than pay for performance. Lastly, unions typically resist merit pay plans. Relatively few teachers are paid by merit pay for this reason. Most of teachers are paid for their seniority, and this plan is leading. So, by disadvantages it brings, merit pay plans should be an element to recognize individual performance. So, turn our attention to another pay plan, partners, a reward for employees for their current performance. For example, I had my project complete unnecessary work, and my boss says, oh, you're so excellent, I will give you $500 for this contribution. So, $500 is my bonus. This plan motivates employees in the clear way. They work and perform with enthusiasm for bonus. Hence, then, the organization developed considerably with high employees' performance. But it also poses bonus weakness that it's so easy to cut. And the problem is more complicated when workers find bonus at an obvious income instead of a reward. So this plan changes the culture from entitlement to meritocracy. But we cannot deny benefits this plan brings to us. It motivates people to work more and more laborious, even a meaningless task. They also try to complete it because they don't want to miss anything which makes them get rewards. Now, let's get more knowledge about profit sharing plan. Another pay plan which means pays workers based on the company profitable. This plan motivates workers make strategies to help company get more profit, simply because they can get reward from that. Studies indicate that organizations with profit sharing plan have higher level of profitability than those without them. So, it is clear that its limitation is no profit, no earning. Also, recent research suggests that organizations with this plan compete with other pay-for-performance plans have individuals who have higher job performance. The final type of pay plan I want to introduce to you is employee stock ownership plan. It means employees will acquire stock at below market price. This plan increases employee satisfaction and innovation, but it only works when employees really experience ownership that they can keep regularly informed the status of the business and have opportunity to positively influence it toward. In general, not all companies prefer to apply this plan, but it's also an important part of an organization's motivational strategy. So, as we can see, each of plans has their own strengths and weaknesses. So companies decided to combine some options together to get the results as well as possible. Also, managers should keep track their employees' expectations to compare elements together to make employees feel the tight relationship between their performance and their reward. And then they try to work to get the result reward. That is all of information about using reward to motivate employees. Also the end of my part. To follow there, my partner will continue with using benefits to motivate employees.
Hi, my name is Thuy. Keeping up with answering the question that how a company can motivate their employees in the workplace, I would like to suggest an option that has been used and promoted successfully by a lot of companies in the world. That is flexible benefits. Why we have to make it flexible and why we do not set the same benefits package for all employees? Let's take an example to understand. For a 21 years old employee in a technology company, they will have no interest in the package that is pension. What they would like to receive from the companies is maybe the gym membership or the payment for their vacation. And in the other age, maybe 30 or 35, they would care about the benefits that can support their families like life insurance or child care, health care insurance. And for the age of 50 or 60, they will care more about the pension package. So a flexible benefit package is created to customize the option and make a plan that allows each employee to put together a benefits package individually. This package can motivate employees by showing them that the organization having the best interest in mind. Otherwise, flexible benefits may not substitute for higher salary when it comes to motivation. Furthermore, as more organizations worldwide adopt flexible benefits, the individual motivation they produce will likely decrease and costly to administrate, and identifying the motivational impact of the different provision is challenging. And so as you can see, flexible benefits is a double-edged sword that can cause also advantage and disadvantage. In order to solve the problem from the flexible benefits that is costly, complex, and hard to design, we have another programs that is employee recognition program that can help the company to motivate their employees. When you think about recognition, you may think that maybe a ceremony, a big ceremony, where the employees can receive flowers, the certificate. But it's not just that. the employee recognition programs is the next motivational and the best motivational plan that's formally appreciating specific employee contribution. This program ran from a spontaneous and private thank yous and giving a profiles pat on the back to widely publicized formal program as a ceremony. And the advantages of recognition program are highly effective and cost very little to administer. There are critics of such programs, however, who say that can be politically motivated and the perception is that they are applied unfairly, they can cause more harm than good. To sum up, there are some implications for managers to apply for their companies, which help them to promote their productivities and having the best performance of their employees. Firstly is recognize individual differences, which spends time necessary to understand what important to each employee and then design a job to align with individuals' needs and maximum their motivational potential. Secondly, use goals and feedback on how well they are faring in pursuit of their goals. Thirdly, allow employees to participate in decisions that affect them and do not stop them from showing their opinion. Then, link the rewards to performance. Rewards should be the contingent on performance, and employees must perceive the link between the two. And the last one is checking the system for equities. Employees should perceive that individual efforts and outcome explain differences in pay and other reward. From this chapter, you can understand what motivates individual is ultimately the key to organizational performance. And employee participation also can increase employee productivity, commitment to work goals, motivation, and job satisfaction. However, we cannot overlook the powerful roles of organizational rewards in influencing motivation. Pay, benefits, intrinsic rewards must be carefully and thoughtfully designed in order to enhance employees' motivations towards positive organizational outcome. And thank you for the listening. We have some quiz for you to review the lesson today. Let's start with